The room was filled with a palpable tension, the air thick with anticipation and unease. The Council of Species, a gathering of the galaxy's most powerful and intelligent beings, had convened an emergency meeting. Seated around the large circular table were representatives from dozens of different alien races, each more bizarre and unique than the next. At the center of the attention was a holographic projection, replaying a recording that had stunned the entire galaxy. On the screen, a battle raged on a barren planet. Alien soldiers, equipped with the most advanced weaponry, engaged in fierce combat against a group of human soldiers. The humans, vastly outnumbered and outgunned, fought with a ferocity and determination that defied logic. They charged forward with reckless abandon, showing no signs of fear or hesitation, even as their comrades fell around them. The recording paused, and the room fell silent. The leader of the council, a towering, serpentine creature with scales that shimmered like polished metal, turned to the human ambassador, who stood calmly at the side of the room. "Ambassador Lara," the leader hissed, "can you explain this behavior? We have never encountered a species that fights with such disregard for their own lives. It is unsettling." Ambassador Lara, a tall woman with piercing blue eyes and a calm demeanor, stepped forward. She had expected this reaction. Humans were still relatively new to the galactic community, and their ways often puzzled other species. "Councillor Sithar," she began, her voice steady and measured, "what you are witnessing is the result of centuries of human culture and history. Humans have a complex relationship with death. While we certainly do fear it on an individual level, as a species, we have developed a unique resilience and willingness to face it head-on." The room buzzed with whispers and murmurs as the various representatives exchanged glances. Lara continued, knowing she had to make them understand. "Throughout our history, humans have faced countless threats to our existence. Natural disasters, plagues, wars, and even our own internal conflicts. Each time we have emerged stronger and more determined. This has ingrained in us a deep-seated belief that survival often requires sacrifice. Our soldiers are trained to prioritize the mission and the survival of their comrades over their own lives." A small, insectoid alien, with multifaceted eyes that reflected the room's light in 1,000 colors, clicked its mandibles thoughtfully. "But why? Why would you willingly face death when it can be avoided?" Lara smiled, a hint of sadness in her eyes. "Because we have learned that some things are worth dying for. Freedom, justice, the safety of our loved ones. These are ideals that humans hold dear, and we are willing to pay the ultimate price to protect them." The recording resumed, showing a human soldier charging into enemy lines, his body riddled with wounds, yet still fighting with unwavering determination. The aliens watched in horror and awe as he took down several enemies before finally succumbing to his injuries. Councillor Sithar's eyes narrowed. "This bravery, or perhaps madness, makes your kind both formidable and unpredictable. How can we be sure that humans will not turn this aggression against the rest of the galaxy?" Lara took a deep breath. This was the heart of the matter. We are not a warlike species by nature. Our history is full of conflict, yes, and also of peace and cooperation. We seek to live in harmony with the rest of the galaxy. But know this, if our existence is threatened, we will defend ourselves with every ounce of strength we have. We do not seek war, but we will not shy away from it if it is forced upon us. The room fell silent again, the weight of her words sinking in. The council members knew they were dealing with a species unlike any they had encountered before. Humans were both a potential ally and a formidable foe. A reptilian alien, its scales a deep shade of emerald, leaned forward. Ambassador Liara, your words have given us much to consider. We must deliberate on how to proceed with our relations with humanity. But I must ask, what do you believe is the key to understanding your kind? Liara thought for a moment before responding. Empathy. Understanding that, despite our differences, we all share common goals and desires. We all want to protect our homes, our families, and our way of life. If we can find common ground and work together, there is no limit to what we can achieve. The council members nodded, some more reluctantly than others. The meeting adjourned, and as Lara left the room, she couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The path ahead would not be easy, but she believed that humanity could find its place in the galaxy. As she stepped out into the corridor, she was met by Commander Jax, a seasoned human soldier who had been part of the mission shown in the recording. "How did it go?" he asked, his expression unreadable. "They're scared of us," Lyra replied, "but they're also curious. They want to understand us." Jax grinned, a fierce pride in his eyes. "Good. Let them see what humans are capable of. They'll learn that we may fear death, but we never let it stop us." Lyra nodded. "Let's just hope they learn to respect us, not fear us." As they walked away, side by side, they knew that the future of humanity in the galaxy was uncertain. But one thing was clear: humans would face whatever came their way with courage and determination, no matter the cost. Weeks passed since the council meeting, and the galaxy seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what the next move would be. Ambassador Liara continued her work, building alliances and fostering understanding among the various species. Yet the undercurrent of fear and uncertainty remained. One day, a message arrived from Councillor Xithar, requesting Liara's presence on his homeworld, Valtara. The message was cryptic but urgent, hinting at a new threat that required immediate attention. Lyra, accompanied by Commander Jax and a small delegation of human diplomats and soldiers, prepared for the journey. Upon arriving at Valtara, they were escorted to the council's grand chamber. The atmosphere was tense, and the usually serene faces of the council members were etched with worry. Ambassador Lyra, Commander Jax, Councillor Xithar greeted them with a somber nod. "We have received troubling reports of a new and dangerous enemy, the Krithar. They are a nomadic species, known for their ruthless conquest and complete disregard for life. They have begun a campaign of terror across the galaxy, and their next target appears to be your solar system." Lyra exchanged a glance with Jax, her expression hardening. "What do you know about their capabilities and strategies?" Xithar activated a holographic display showing footage of the Krithar in action. They were a terrifying sight. Massive, insect-like creatures with a hive mind, capable of overwhelming their enemies with sheer numbers and brutal efficiency. The footage showed entire planets laid to waste, their populations annihilated without mercy. "The Krithar are relentless," Xithar continued. "They have no concept of fear or compassion. They will stop at nothing to achieve their goals. We believe that if they reach Earth, they will destroy everything in their path." Jax stepped forward, his jaw set in determination. "We won't let that happen. Earth has faced threats before, and we've always found a way to prevail. But we can't do it alone. We need the support and cooperation of the entire galaxy." The room buzzed with agreement, though some council members still looked uncertain. Lyra knew that this was their chance to prove humanity's worth as allies, not just warriors. "We propose a joint task force," Lyra said, addressing the council. "Humans, along with representatives from other species, working together to stop the Krithar before they reach any more inhabited worlds. We can combine our strengths and resources to form a united front." A murmur of approval spread through the chamber. The council members began to discuss the logistics, and soon a plan was in motion. Representatives from various species volunteered their fleets, soldiers, and resources, coming together in a show of solidarity that was unprecedented in galactic history. As preparations for the joint task force advanced, Lyra and Jax worked tirelessly to coordinate efforts and ensure that everyone was ready for the impending battle. They knew that the Krithar would not be easily defeated, but they also knew that the combined might of the galaxy stood a chance. The day of the battle arrived, and the joint task force assembled near the Krithar's latest target, a planet on the outskirts of human-controlled space. The human soldiers, side by side with their alien allies, prepared for the fight of their lives. As the Krithar fleet approached, a sense of resolve settled over the defenders. This was more than a battle for survival. It was a battle for the future of the galaxy. The Krithar's initial assault was brutal, their swarms of fighters and massive warships overwhelming the defenders' lines. But the joint task force held firm, human ingenuity and determination combining with alien technology and strategy. Commander Jax led a daring raid on the Krithar flagship, his team infiltrating the massive vessel to disable its command structure. The battle raged on, each side suffering heavy losses. Yet the humans' refusal to yield, their willingness to face death head-on, inspired their allies to fight with equal fervor. Inside the Krithar flagship, Jax and his team fought their way to the control center. The Krithar were relentless, but the humans' unyielding spirit carried them through. They reached the command center, where Jax faced the Krithar Queen, a towering, nightmarish creature that exuded an aura of pure malice. "You will fail," the Krithar Queen hissed, her voice a chilling echo. "Your resistance is futile." Jax, bloodied but unbowed, raised his weapon. "Humans never give up. We fight until the end." With a final defiant roar, Jax and his team unleashed everything they had, taking down the Krithar Queen and crippling the flagship. The rest of the joint task force, emboldened by their success, rallied and pushed back the Krithar fleet. The battle was won, but at a great cost. Many lives were lost, human and alien alike. Yet the galaxy had seen what could be achieved when they stood together. The Krithar threat was far from eliminated, but their advance had been halted. Back on Valtara, the Council reconvened to honor the fallen and celebrate their hard-won victory. Councillor Xithar addressed the assembly, his voice filled with respect and admiration. "Today, we have witnessed the true strength of humanity, not just in their bravery, but in their ability to inspire and lead. We owe our survival to their indomitable spirit." Lyra and Jax stood among their allies, a sense of pride and accomplishment washing over them. The path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but they knew that humanity had earned its place in the galaxy. As the assembly dispersed, Jax turned to Lyra, a weary but satisfied smile on his face. "Think they'll stop being scared of us now?" Lyra laughed softly. "Maybe not, but they'll know that we're not just warriors. We're allies. And together, there is nothing we can't overcome." With renewed determination, they prepared to face whatever the future held, knowing that the bond forged in battle would only grow stronger. The galaxy had learned to respect humanity, and humanity had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy slowly began to recover from the battle against the Krithar. The joint task force's victory had galvanized the various species, fostering a newfound sense of unity and cooperation. Yet the threat of the Krithar still loomed large, and preparations were underway to ensure they could never again wreak havoc on such a scale. Back on Earth, Ambassador Lyra and Commander Jax were hailed as heroes. They were invited to speak at the United Galactic Assembly, where representatives from every species gathered to discuss the future of their alliance and the continued fight against the Krithar. As Liara stood before the assembly, she felt a mixture of pride and responsibility. She began her speech, her voice echoing through the grand hall. Honored representatives, today we stand united, not just as separate species, but as one galactic community. The battle against the Krithar showed us that together, we are stronger than any enemy. We have proven that by combining our strengths and embracing our differences, we can overcome any challenge. The assembly erupted in applause, but Lyra could see the concern in many faces. The Krithar were still a formidable threat, and their next move was uncertain. Our victory was not the end, she continued, her tone serious. The Krithar are still out there, and they will not rest until they have achieved their goals. We must remain vigilant, and we must continue to work together to ensure the safety of our galaxy. As Lyra spoke, Jax was meeting with military leaders from various species, strategizing and planning for the next phase of their campaign against the Krithar. The human soldiers had earned a reputation for their bravery and resilience, and Jax was determined to use that to build an even stronger coalition. In the weeks that followed, the Joint Task Force expanded, incorporating more species and resources. Training exercises were conducted, blending the best of each species' tactics and technology. The galaxy was preparing for a prolonged conflict, and the sense of unity grew stronger with each passing day. Meanwhile, on the fringes of known space, the Krithar were regrouping. Their queen had been defeated, but their hive mind remained intact. A new leader emerged, more ruthless and cunning than the last. The Krithar began to adapt, learning from their previous defeat and preparing to launch a new offensive. One night, as Lyra was reviewing reports in her quarters, she received an urgent message from Jax. Lyra, we have intel on the Krithar's next move. They're targeting a remote colony, one of our key outposts. We need to act fast. Lyra's heart raced. They couldn't afford to lose any more ground to the Krithar. I'll rally the diplomats and get the Council's approval for immediate action. You coordinate with the fleet and prepare our forces. The response was swift. Within hours, the Joint Task Force was mobilized and heading toward the targeted colony. As they approached, they could see the Krithar fleet already in position, preparing for an all-out assault. The battle that ensued was fierce and unrelenting. The Krithar fought with a new level of ferocity, their tactics more sophisticated, and their determination unwavering. But the Joint Task Force had also grown stronger. Humans and their allies fought side by side, their bond forged in the heat of battle. Jax led the charge on the ground, his soldiers pushing back the Krithar with relentless determination. Lyra coordinated the efforts from orbit, ensuring that every move was calculated and effective. Despite the overwhelming odds, the Joint Task Force managed to hold the line. The Krithar were relentless, but the defenders were resolute. The battle raged for days, each side suffering heavy losses, but neither willing to give an inch. In the midst of the chaos, Jax found himself face to face with a new Krithar leader. The creature was a towering, nightmarish figure, exuding an aura of pure malice. They clashed with a fury that shook the battlefield, each blow echoing with the fate of the galaxy. You cannot win, the Krithar leader hissed, its voice a chilling echo. We are inevitable. Jax, battered but unbroken, met its gaze with unwavering resolve. Humans never give up. We'll fight you to our last breath. With a final defiant roar, Jax delivered a crushing blow, taking down the Krithar leader and dealing a significant blow to their morale. The tide of the battle began to turn, the joint task force rallying and pushing back the Krithar once more. As the dust settled and the Krithar retreated, a weary but triumphant cheer rose from the defenders. They had won another hard-fought victory, proving once again that unity and determination could overcome even the most formidable of foes. Back at the United Galactic Assembly, Lara and Jax were celebrated not just as heroes, but as symbols of what the galaxy could achieve when it stood together. The victory was a testament to their unwavering spirit and the strength of their alliance. In the days that followed, the galaxy continued to prepare for the inevitable return of the Krithar. But they did so with a renewed sense of hope and determination. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, united by a common purpose. As Lara and Jax stood together, looking out at the stars, they knew that the fight was far from over. But they also knew that, no matter what came next, humanity and their allies would face it together, unafraid and unyielding. And so the story of humanity's courage and resilience spread across the galaxy, inspiring countless others to stand firm in the face of adversity. The galaxy had learned to respect humanity, and humanity had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with. Together, they would continue to fight, to hope, and to dream of a future where peace and unity reigned supreme. And in the hearts of all who heard their tale, the spirit of humanity burned bright, a beacon of hope in the vastness of space. Months passed since the last battle against the Krithar, and the galaxy continued to rebuild and strengthen its defenses. The united front forged by humanity and their allies had brought a semblance of peace, but the threat of the Krithar was ever present. Ambassador Lara and Commander Jax were tirelessly working to maintain the alliance and prepare for the inevitable return of the Krithar. Their efforts had not gone unnoticed, and they were invited to a summit on the neutral planet of Denthara to discuss the next steps in their campaign. The summit was a grand affair, with representatives from every corner of the galaxy in attendance. As Lara and Jax arrived, they were greeted with respect and admiration. They took their seats at the central table, ready to discuss strategies and plans with their allies. Councillor Xithar opened the summit with a speech. Esteemed representatives, we gather here today to ensure the continued survival and prosperity of our galaxy. The Krithar threat remains, but united, we have shown that we can withstand their onslaught. Now we must take the next step to eliminate this menace once and for all. The discussions that followed were intense and detailed. Plans were drawn up for a coordinated offensive to strike at the heart of the Krithar hive. Intelligence reports had pinpointed their main base of operations, a heavily fortified planet deep within their territory. Lara spoke up, her voice calm and resolute. We propose a multi-front assault. A combined fleet will engage their defenses in space, while ground forces launch a simultaneous attack on their command structures. We must disrupt their hive mind and weaken their ability to coordinate. Jax added, we'll lead the best from every species. Humans will lead the ground assault, with our allies providing support and specialized units. We can't afford to hold anything back. The summit concluded with unanimous agreement. Preparations began immediately, with fleets mobilizing and soldiers training for the daunting task ahead. The joint task force had become a well-oiled machine, each species contributing their unique strengths to the collective effort. As the day of the offensive approached, the tension was palpable. Lara and Jax spent their final hours in briefings and planning sessions, ensuring that every detail was accounted for. They knew the stakes were higher than ever before. The assault fleet gathered near the edge of Krithar space, a massive armada of ships from dozens of species. The sight was awe-inspiring, a testament to what could be achieved through unity and cooperation. As the fleet prepared to jump into Krithar territory, Lyra addressed the gathered forces. Today, we fight not just for our survival, but for the future of our galaxy. The Krithar have brought nothing but death and destruction, but we have shown that together, we are stronger. We will strike at their heart and end this threat once and for all. May we all return safely, and may our victory bring peace to our worlds. With that, the fleet jumped into hyperspace, emerging near the Krithar homeworld. The battle began almost immediately, the Krithar defenses responding with ferocity. The space above the planet became a maelstrom of laser fire and explosions as ships from both sides clashed. On the ground, the Joint Task Force faced equally fierce resistance. The Krithar had fortified their positions, and every inch of ground was contested. Human soldiers, alongside their alien allies, pushed forward with relentless determination, their training and camaraderie shining through. Jax led his team through the chaotic battlefield, his eyes fixed on their objective, the central hive structure. If they could take it out, it would cripple the Krithars' ability to coordinate their forces. They fought their way through waves of enemies, their progress marked by the scars of battle. Meanwhile, Lyra coordinated the efforts from orbit, directing reinforcements and providing strategic support. The battle was brutal, but the Joint Task Force was holding their own. Slowly but surely, they were pushing the Krithar back. As Jack's team neared the central hive, they encountered the heaviest resistance yet. The Krithar were throwing everything they had into defending their command structure. Jax knew they had to press on, no matter the cost. With a final desperate push, Jax and his team breached the hive's defenses, entering the heart of the Krithars' command. Inside, they faced the Krithar Queen, a massive, terrifying creature that radiated malice and power. "You cannot win," the Queen hissed, her voice echoing with the weight of countless minds. "Your resistance is futile." Jax, bloodied but unbroken, raised his weapon. "We've heard that before. Humans never give up." The battle with the Queen was fierce, each side fighting with everything they had. In the end, it was the combined strength and determination of the Joint Task Force that prevailed. The Queen fell, and with her the hive mind's coordination shattered. As the Krithar forces began to falter, the Joint Task Force pressed their advantage. One by one, the Krithar defenses crumbled, and the battle was won. The galaxy had triumphed over its greatest threat. In the aftermath of the battle, the Joint Task Force returned to their respective worlds, hailed as heroes. The galaxy began the long process of healing and rebuilding, but this time with a newfound sense of unity and purpose. At a ceremony honoring the fallen and celebrating their victory, Lyra and Jax stood together, their bonds stronger than ever. Councillor Sithar addressed the assembled crowd, his voice filled with pride and gratitude. "Today, we honor those who fought and those who gave their lives for our future. Humanity has shown us what true courage and determination look like. Together, we have faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The galaxy owes its future to this alliance and to the indomitable spirit of humanity." As the ceremony concluded, Lyra and Jax looked out at the stars, knowing that the future was brighter than ever before. The galaxy had learned to respect humanity, not just for their strength in battle, but for their unwavering spirit and their capacity for unity. Together, they would continue to build a future where peace and cooperation reigned supreme. The story of humanity's courage and resilience would be told for generations, a beacon of hope in the vastness of space.